Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Terry. Terry is from California in the USA. So let's see what Terry has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello, Terry. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing, William?
I'm very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Oh, man, anytime. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate you reaching out.
So tell me, how's your morning going so far?
Not too bad. It's just getting started, so it's kind of nice. It's 8 a.m. It's Saturday. It's nice and sunny out.
During the weekend, do you have like a usual routine that you do every weekend, or you just go with the flow?
Normally during the week for work, I wake up about 4:30 in the morning, take a shower, go downstairs, do about 50 to 60 push-ups, and then head off to work.
Oh,
Um, on the weekend, a little bit about the same, only I just changed the timing a little bit. So I wake up usually at 6 and do same routine, some push-ups, some air squats, and start my day.
oh. And you always being an early bird?
Dig in.
You always being an early bird?
Yeah. I don't tend to sleep in very often, very much. So
Tell me where you're from, Terry.
born and raised in Southern California.
Wow. And all your family live there as well?
Yeah, all my family was in Southern California. Yeah.
I see. And what do you do for work for a living, Terry?
Currently, right now, I'm an operations manager for a trucking company. So we do truck and lease.
Wow. So tell me what you like the most about your job.
What I like most?
Yeah.
Oh man, I have some good customers that I deal with. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's probably about and some good folks that I work with. Some of the leadership isn't as leadership quality as I would like. But I'm good at seeking my own inner strengths and inner inspirations so that I can stay positive and stay motivated and help the guys stay motivated.
Amazing. Okay, Terry, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey so far, okay?
Sure.
But before we start our journey within the Magic Box, would you like you to tell me something interesting about yourself, or maybe something that not many people know about you?
A lot of people probably don't know. Obviously, you found me through my Instagram page that I have for my OnlyFans. So I do have a separate life that is different from that one. So that's probably something that a lot of people won't realize, or they probably do realize, they just don't know. You know what I mean?
I
Um,
see.
so
Okay, cool. Very interesting for sure.
yeah,
Terry, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
absolutely. Let's do it, man.
Amazing. Welcome to William in the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Full of random fun questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just first to relax before the first question. Okay?
Perfect.
Let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to answer, we can change, okay?
Perfect.
Amazing. First question is, what is the most difficult thing have you ever done?
Oh man, my mom got sick with cancer when I was 25 years old. So caring for her was probably one of the most difficult things having to do. Having to make those hard choices towards the end was probably the most difficult.
Wow. And when you think about her, what's the best memory that comes to your mind?
Oh man, I had a lot of great memories of my mom. She looked like, if you know the actress Suzanne Summers,
Right?
uh, she kind of looked like Suzanne Summers. She drove a sports car. She was always real hip. Was always a model growing up when I was a kid. So
Wow.
I always have great memories of my mom just because we always had a really good time. So she supported me a lot when I played ice hockey my whole life, and we would always go to hockey games in Los Angeles, and we were fortunate enough to sit in the same area or waiting area, kind of what you call it. It was called the Forum Club, and that was where all the celebrities would hang out. So you'd have like Sylvester Stallone, John Candy, um,
Wow.
all the cool celebrities would hang out there. So as a kid, I was, exposed to hanging out with all those people and just meeting all those people. And we're just average Joes, but no one really knew that we were just average Joes.
That's amazing. Oh, wow. And do you have siblings as well?
Say again?
Do you have brother and sister as well?
No, I'm an only child actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that made it even more fun because it was just really just all. I don't want to say it was all about me, but really honestly, like I was the center of her universe and she was mine.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Very good. Next question. Let's do it. Hey, Terry from California. Next question is, what makes you really angry?
You know, I don't know if you have it in Europe, but they have parking spots for handicap.
Right.
And people park in the handicap when they're not supposed to. Like I think that probably frustrates me the most because I have friends that are handicapped. They're not handicapped, right? By definition. They are, yes, but like they're athletes, but they just happen to have, maybe a leg missing or, they're in a wheelchair, right? But they're still super outgoing and do really awesome things. But listen, at the end of the day, like it's reserved for those kind of folks. So, you know,
It happened a lot to you to get very angry or not?
no, not very often. I'm usually very centered and very grounded. I have a girlfriend that does a pretty good job at keeping me on a tight leash so that I don't lose my shit from time to time. But yeah, I'll usually say something to people if they do that kind of stuff.
And the happiest, what makes you the happiest?
Oh man, my girlfriend, just traveling, seeing things that I've never experienced before is always awesome. The Southwest of the United States is really super pretty. So going and, being outside, doing all those things is really fun.
Oh, wow. Is your girlfriend the closest person in your life right now?
Yeah, that I have a 25-year-old daughter, so between the two, that's really my only family. So,
Oh my God, you have a 25-year-old daughter.
yeah, yeah, I'm old.
No, I'm just impressed. What's the secret for you to keep the youth? Wow.
Eating healthy, no drugs or alcohol, and not because I was an addict or because I had a problem. It's just because it wasn't something that really interested me. Like, I just never chose that path. So, obviously you look very youthful as well, so you have some tricks as well up your sleeve that you could probably share. But honestly, man, just living a healthy life, eat clean food. For the most 90% of my food I eat is probably clean. The 10% is candy and chocolate cake or cupcakes or whatever, right? But like just don't overindulge in anything.
Wow. When you think about yourself, Terry, when you analyze yourself, what's the biggest joy of being you? What do you like the most about being Terry?
Probably what a lot of people don't see because the exterior looks a lot different than what the interior looks like, right? Like, I believe in auras and I believe in energy, right? So I believe when you meet somebody, you instantly feel that energy or you see that aura, that glow around them. Um, and having that ability to, have people see me past the exterior and allowing them to see the inner is what is probably that makes me the happiest.
Wow, amazing. Next question, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, Terry, so before the next question, tell me, when was the idea for you to create your page on OnlyFans? It was something that you like to express yourself or adventure, was a choice? Tell me a little bit about it.
I think it was just more of like an adventure, right? I don't obviously look my age. I stay in really good shape. And it was something that, I had pondered on and I probably slept on it for too long, right? Like I probably missed a good window of opportunity to really make a financial gain at it, which is fine because, I feel like we all have our path and our journey is written out for us. So you can't really look at the past and say I would have, should have, could have, right? But really just pick out of not necessarily boredom, but just curiosity. Let's see what can happen. It can either be really great or it cannot be, and that's okay too. Like,
What's the most common comments that people comment about your page, or what's the most usual message that they pointed out about you or your page?
It's usually it goes like one of two things. It goes beard, build, or the gift that I was given below the belt,
I see. Okay. Next
and
question we
not
have.
in that and not in that order. It's usually completely usually the opposite, but that's okay as well. You know what I mean? It just depends on what everybody's fetish is, or what their niche is, or what attracts them the most. You
And
know,
most of your, the people who follows you, do you think they are part of the LGBTQ plus community, or they are for like ladies, men? How have you ever kind of had an opinion about it?
a lot of it's mostly a lot of gay males, a lot of gay curious, maybe bi curious, a lot of trans, um, maybe 0.5% of women, right? It's not a lot, right? Which probably makes my girlfriend stoked, right? Because like there's no worry about like a woman dropping in my DM, because that's just not normal. But it's a large community, and it's kind of cool to be able to interact and be like, hey, I'm a straight male and it's okay, right? I'm here to to do whatever you like within reason, so to speak, right? But I'm just here showing you me, and if you can accept that because I'm straight, then that's fine. If you can't, then that's your choice too. Like, I don't judge people for any reason whatsoever, right? It should go both ways, you know.
Absolutely. I think nowadays, I think with social media, people they are more open-minded about it. I think people they are more understanding as well. And of course, I'm part of LGBTQ plus community, and of course, when you talk about a straight man, we go like, wow, we want to see a little bit, like a curiosity about it as well. So I understand
Yeah.
your point.
Yeah. Oh, there's a huge curiosity. And it's weird, man. Like, I grew up in a time where, like, the most flamboyant and famous gay person was probably Liberace, right? You're talking like 70s and 80s, right? He was the most flamboyant and gay, and you knew he was gay, right?
Uh-huh.
But I don't think anybody cared. Like, no one gave a shit. They were just like, whatever, it's Liberace, right? Like, you either liked him or you didn't. Um, and I can remember Rock Hudson was a famous actor, and he came out and said that he had AIDS. And that was huge because he was like the Brad Pitt of like my grandmother's era, right? And
Right.
so him coming out and saying that he was gay was kind of like, it's Hollywood, so they have their own weird life, right? And it's not weird, it's just they have their own life that we don't really know about because we just don't see it. Um,
Totally.
and even growing up as a kid, like, there was probably gay kids in my school, and I don't think anybody cared. Like, you may have gotten picked on if you were a little feminine or whatever, but like no one was like malicious.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like we've just come to a place where like everything is acceptance is forced rather than like nature. Like, if we met in a bar, we would talk, and you wouldn't care if I was straight, and I wouldn't care if you were gay. You would just be, to me, you're just William, right? And I
Totally.
think I think that beauty of that has been lost.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think nowadays, I strongly believe that social media somehow open people's minds in a way, but at the same time as well, close a little bit, as you
Yes.
said. You know what I mean? Because you have this stigma already. As soon as you see someone online, you start talk to them, you're already expecting, you already know about the person. So this
Yeah.
magical moment is a bit lost, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
I totally understand your point. But
Yeah.
on a positive note, I think nowadays people they are more open-minded because of social media. Because as you
Sure.
said,
Yeah.
you cannot run away anymore. It's already there, exposed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Before you could hide, it just happened with the neighbor. It just happened it never happened to your household. But
No. No.
nowadays, it's explicit there. That's the power in a positive way. I totally
Yeah.
understand your point.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And listen, like, at the end of the day, like, I want to try and be a positive role model for whatever that looks like, right? Like,
Hmm.
or just a positive influence, whether it's at work or in public or whatever. Like, I always hold the door open for people walking in and out of places, right? Like, if it's an elderly person and they need help with something and they're at the grocery store, I'm always like, hey, can I help you load your groceries, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
and just making sure people understand that, like, you know strangers can still come up and talk to you, and you shouldn't be afraid. be
Totally.
be be cognizant of your surroundings, be aware, like, there are still bad people in the world, but like there are still good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Especially when, like I said, when you see my exterior, it doesn't look so friendly, it doesn't look so nice, right? But then you realize, wow, there are good people out there, and it doesn't matter what they look like.
Absolutely. Good. Next question is, when was the last time that you cried and why?
Oh man, it's probably been a long time. I couldn't even really remember.
Do you cry easily?
No, it takes a lot to get me to tear up. We recently had to put our dog down, and I probably know I shed some tears about that. He was a good little dog, man. We miss him a lot. So that would have probably been the last time, and that was like in February.
I see. Wow. Okay. Next question. Ready?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do it. Next one. Next question is, what's the best compliment ever received?
You know, I'll never get tired of people telling me that I don't look my age. Um, I don't think I'll ever get tired of that. And it's my mom never looked her age, and my grandparents never looked their age. And so I'm really, really super thankful that I have good genetics.
Uh-huh.
But aside from the exterior, like, I've had people, give me compliments like, hey, thank you for what you did for my career. Like, you gave me a chance, and, that helped me get where I'm at today,
Right.
and that's probably the best compliment. If, your looks and everything is always great, right? But like getting a compliment of like a lifetime achievement type of thing, like is super cool. So,
Saying that, what's the meaning of life for you, Terry?
you know, be the best you that you can be, whatever that means.
Mhm.
I don't think any of our lives aren't already pre-written, right? Like we have a start date and we have an end date, and we know the start date, but we're not privy to the end. So you kind of have to, make what you can with what you have in the middle. And I think that wherever you land is where you're supposed to be, and you should probably just be okay with that.
Well, tell me a life lesson that life has taught you that you feel very grateful for.
Um, Taking advantage of every opportunity, and knowing that they don't come along very often, and the people that are in your life that you care for, make sure that they know it, because they're not. I learned early on, like, nothing is a guarantee. Like losing my mom when I was 25 was huge, because
Wow.
it really showed me that, I need to appreciate everything that I have in my life, whether it's a family member, a friend, you know, where I'm at in my life, whether it's, a good job or anything like that. Like, just be thankful for it, because it could be gone in a day.
Well, totally understand. I think the present's a gift. Yeah, being now, right the moment, it's a gift that you need to appreciate all the time. Sometimes we take for granted. Yeah. However, we need to remember always that we are here. So let's be in the present and enjoy the most we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next question. Let's do it. You like dancing?
Uh, I don't have any rhythm, man. I wasn't born with that for some reason. I got two left feet. I got three right arms. Like I can't. Like, I would love it. I love watching people dance. I'm just, yeah, I wasn't gifted.
Before the next question, as I could see your eyes shining talking about your daughter, so tell me so far, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from her?
Um, God, she's smart, man. Like, she got everything that I could have asked for. Like, she got like, um, yeah, she's just awesome. She just teaches me so much. She's super smart. Um, she's innovative. She's an entrepreneur by brain. Like, she
Wow.
went to school for 2 years, got her degree, and she became a real estate agent, and she just kills it.
Wow.
25-year-old kid making figures. She just launched a page on Amazon for selling products on Amazon that, like, I didn't even tell her about. Like, she just does her own thing, and every time she just surprises me with, like, just her mindset and how she thinks. Like, I was always amazed at like how she thought.
Wow. Saying that, what's the biggest difference between both of you and the biggest similarity?
Oh man, well, we're almost twins, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, she's super super pretty. God could have gifted me with like a really, hideous child, but I'm really really super blessed that she looks a lot like my mom, um,
Wow.
which is super cool. we're similar in that sense. We have the same temperament, which may not benefit her in life very well because she can. When I was her age, I was super fiery, and she's kind of the same way, except she's a little bit mild mannered about it, and she's a little bit more even keeled, which is cool. She's a girl version because girls are a little bit more timid and their methodology of thought is a little bit better. Men are more like reactionary, and like we just go through it and
Yeah.
we worry about the consequences later, where she thinks about everything first and then she actions. So that's good. Yeah, she blows me away, dude, every day. She's rad.
Okay, so your daughter is watching this interview right now. When you have a moment, an opportunity to send her a message, what would you say?
Oh man, just every day, man. She's my little dorky, dude. I just love that kid, man. She knows every day I love her and every day that I'm proud of her. I don't we text each other every day, we talk every day. I'm always constantly asking her, like, hey, how's work going? How many closings do you have? Like, I'm into it, right? Because I want her to know that like it makes me proud. Like, and I tell her constantly, like, hey, I'm really proud of you. Like, you're dope. Like, you do good, you know. And that's, I think, there's not a lot of parents out there that are blessed with that opportunity to say, like, hey, man, my kid's awesome, like rock star.
Wow. Tell me the feeling when you saw her for the first time, when you got her in your arms.
Oh, man, to be honest with you, man, like, I don't even remember. Like, it was a long time ago, and like it was just so many different things, right? Like, it was wild because like my mom passed away, and then 10 months later, my daughter was born.
Oh, so it's very close. Oh yeah, of course. So it's very
So
close.
it's really, it's kind of like, really strange. Like, and for my life, like for me, my mom had a brother, and he passed away when I was 1.5 years old from a skydiving accident. And I assumed his name. So my grandmother, I was like her surrogate replacement for her son. So
Wow.
it kind of, my family chain kind of followed me, and I lost my mom, but yet my daughter magically replaced my mom, so to speak.
Right.
And you don't know if it's like divine intervention or, it was just interesting how that all worked out. And it's kind of unexplainable, but she's not my mom. I know she's not my mom, but like I feel like something brought her here to keep me where I need to be.
Wow. Goosebump. Wow.
Thank you. Yeah.
No, it's interesting you saying this story, Terry. I totally understand. Those events in life sometimes happen that we cannot even explain. And, as you said about your uncle and suddenly about your mom and your daughter, I could tell you some other events as well. I think those events is just, when you think about it, my God, it meant to be this way somehow, to kind of, cover something or to feel something that will be missing or to learn something. It's always something connected.
Yeah. Yeah. I think everything's connected. I think everything really, truly, honestly happens for a reason. And you just have to find that reason. Like, listen, there's a lot of bad things that happen to a lot of people. Bad things happen to good people, and it's unfortunate. But you have to pick yourself up and you have to keep going. Like, you have to, I could never sit there and be sad. I can be sad about my mom, right? Or I could be sad about my grandparents, whatever. Right. But the things that they taught me growing up, I would never want to fail them. I would never, ever want to have them look down, whatever metaphor you want to say, right? And go, God, what is wrong with you? I taught you so much. You couldn't have made it. Like, absolutely not. Like, failing for me is worse than anything. Like, and I don't want to fail for my girlfriend. I don't want to fail for my daughter. Like, ultimately, I don't want to fail for myself, but like, I don't need other people to succeed, but I also don't ever want to fail the people that rely on me the most.
That's cool. Next question is, what's the best advice you have ever received?
I worked for a guy years ago, and he was probably one of the greatest people I ever worked for. And he was a bull. Like, he was hired at the company to completely shake the company and rattle the people that were there. That didn't want to evolve and make change. And I can't pinpoint one thing that the guy taught me, right? His name was Bob Wolf, and he was a genius when it came to business. but he gave me an opportunity when I was just a 22, 23-year-old kid. And he put me in positions that everyone else in the department had degrees. And I'm just a kid that, he just took a liking to me and the way I thought and gave me an opportunity. And I didn't let that opportunity pass. Like, I took every opportunity. I learned from him. And he was, like I said, he was a bull. He was a pit bull. He was mean. He wasn't nice, but if you looked past that, he had a heart of gold. Like, he would do anything for anybody.
Yeah.
You just had to understand how to reach that and how to get to that.
Totally. Wow. It's so interesting saying that, because I had a manager. I was working in a hotel a few years ago, and I had a manager from Australia. And she was this kind of person as well, very strong attitude. Like, everyone was very scared of her. And it's funny because one day I was in the back of the restaurant with a colleague, and she was vegan, and she was eating something like a leftover that from the clients.
Yeah.
And this boss passed by, and she looked at her, and she was like, "You shouldn't be eating here." And she left. And my colleague was like, "Oh my God, she's so mean, she's so rude." I said, "Look, wait a minute. She's not. She's just doing her job. You're not supposed to eat here. If she passed by, she didn't say anything. She's just doing her job. She didn't make a fuss. She didn't call you in her office. She just made a comment, because I was there as well. Because maybe if I wasn't there, she would just avoid it, because I was there. It wasn't, you do something wrong. So I was seeing something. So, you know what I mean? And she was like, "That's true." I said, "Yes, she's just doing her job." And I love those people because they're strong, and you just need to understand them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love it.
It's funny. And I tell this to this day, it's been almost 30 years, right, since I worked for this dude, right? 25 years at least. And I remember sitting in a meeting, and the vice president, his title was director of operations. He worked right under the VP of operations, who was also Dave Evich. He was an amazing human being. The vice president of engineering came in because it was a technology company. We built test equipment for the military.
Right.
And the vice president of engineering was extremely upset because he ordered something and he hadn't gotten it yet. So my boss gets up and he walks over to his desk. He goes, "Oh, I have the requisition with right here." He goes, "Is this what you're talking about?" And the guy's like, "Yes." "Have you ordered it?" And he goes, "No, I haven't ordered it yet." And the guy's, it sat on his desk for a week. And he goes, "Why didn't you order it?" He goes, "Well, your requirement date says ASAP. So I didn't see that on the calendar anywhere. So I figured as soon as possible was when I could order it, not when you needed it."
Wow.
And so the guy was furious, but he made a point. If you need something by a certain date, put the date, because he literally asked him, "Where can I find ASAP on a calendar?" I sat there, and that moment stuck with me for the rest of my life, because anytime someone says I need it ASAP, I think of, do you want that on my time or your time? Like,
I like that.
What is more important? So now I'm sharing this with you, right? Because now for the rest of your life, William, when you hear ASAP, you're going to go, "Where's that on the calendar?" And you're going to have that joke. And my girlfriend literally had an assignment, and like, it was ASAP. And she asked them, "Hey, can you help me out? Where is that on the calendar? Because I need to prioritize that properly." And it was a learning moment for somebody else. And so it was a weird learning moment, but the guy was furious, but he can't be mad because he did it to himself.
I love it. You literally made my day now, Terry. I'm going to remember that for sure.
Awesome. I love that. And it's just comical, right? But like the little things, the nuances you learn from people, and like the things that stick with you forever ASAP for me is with him.
And people sometimes, those strong personality people, sometimes people, they don't connect with them, but I love it because you learn with those people. They're tough, they're hard, difficult, but you just learn with them. It just always takes something out of it, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Amazing. 3 questions left. So let's do it. Okay. Next question is, which question you wouldn't have an answer for?
Oh man, probably like something like the meaning of life, like, because I don't think any of us know like what the true meaning of life is. We have like an idea, but I don't think we really have an answer.
I'm gonna ask a tough question for you right now. As you mentioned a few times about your mom, and I could see your connection with her, the memories are always gonna be there. My question for you is, do you think one day you're gonna meet her again?
I would love to. I would hope so, right? Like that would, I think, listen, it doesn't matter what your spiritual beliefs are, right?
Mhm.
You could be a complete atheist. And I think that inherently as humans, I think we're programmed to believe.
Yeah,
Okay? And I don't think, even I think the atheist, if their car is going down a huge mountain and their brakes go out, even the atheist is going to say, "Oh God." I don't care what I would bet a paycheck on it that they're going to say, "Oh God," because they realize in that moment that their life is probably going to end. So listen, you can
yeah,
say you don't believe in anything, but I know you're going to say God at some point. Your God may not be real, and that's okay. But
yeah, yeah.
um, I think that we all believe that we're going to see the things that we loved,
Mhm.
because God, it
Yeah,
would suck if we were just there's always that conversation, right? Like our vessels is our body, right? Like that's just what carries us through, but our soul is a living and breathing thing.
totally.
you know None of us know. We all have an idea of what our soul happens when it leaves, right? And we all have our own different beliefs in that. It would suck if it's just blackness. Like it would suck
Totally.
if it was just like when you close your computer and you hear the sound. Like
Yeah,
it would suck if it was just that, right? Like that wouldn't be cool. But then it would also suck if we were just reincarnated. Like, what if you got reincarnated as a cat or like a lizard? Like, how shitty of a life would that be, right? Like, do you really want to be a dog in like a third world country? Like, no, you don't. It's like, you want to be a dog to some wealthy person in Beverly Hills or London or something like this, right? Like not, I don't know, man. Like it's just one of those things. It kind of terrifies me also. Like, you know,
mhm.
like, if will I get to see her? I hope so. Like, listen, ultimately I believe she's with me every day. Like I think
Yeah,
all of my family is with me every day. Like I carry them in some way. I wake up super early because that's what my grandfather did. So that's him waking me up, right? Um, my grandmother worked super hard and she was super smart and super strong. So I have that, my floaty butterfly, like talk to people and just be out in the world. Like that was my mom. So I carry all these different personalities, and I'm a Gemini also. So like then there's that whole split personality aspect of my astrological sign that allows me to be that person in different places at different times.
totally. Yeah. I think those special people in our lives, they are around. You could feel their presence sometimes, and you just go like, it's something connected here. And I understand your point for sure. Two questions left.
Good.
Let's do. Hey, next question is, what's your favorite holiday season of the year?
You know, I enjoy Christmas. I really do. My mom's birthday is a few days before Christmas, so I always have that on my mind. Not gonna lie, sometimes I forget just because like I just don't hold the dates because it's been so long. But I'll look at a calendar and I'll remember the date. Or, I like Christmas. I also like summertime. I was born in summer, so like I like summertime. Like I feel like seasons are better than holidays, right? Because like who really likes Thanksgiving? I mean, you're in Europe, so you don't have Thanksgiving, right? But Christmas is nice, but is Christmas really celebrated for what it's intended for, or is it now commercialized so that you're supposed to spend $1,000 on each human being, right? Like it has the meaning gone away, right? And even if you don't believe in Christ, right? Like the holiday is still there, but like, shouldn't you just be, in the old days, right?
Mm.
New Year was actually the holiday where you got gifts because it's the new year. So you start the new year with new things. And Christmas was kind of just a family thing. So we've kind of flipped it around. So now, like, New Year's is something different, and Christmas is where you get the gifts.
During this season, like Christmas season, and of course New Year, starting afterwards, you are kind of person that make new resolutions, or you make some kind of wishes, or you just go with the flow through the year?
Through the year, man, like, don't put anything off, man. If you want to do something, start something, start it. Like, get up and do it. Like, don't say I'm going to start on Monday. What's wrong with Thursday? You can start on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Like, because Monday you're going to get there and you're going to make another excuse. The same excuse you had on Thursday is going to be the excuse for Monday. So what are you doing? Right? Like, if you want to start eating clean, you just said it, start eating clean. Like, why do it? If you want to start going to the gym, save money, spend more time with your spouse, doesn't matter. Just start doing it.
I love Mondays. I'm an early bird like you. I wake up every morning 4:20 to go to the gym before I start my day. And I love waking up. So far, 2025, we're almost halfway of the year. What has been the highlight of your year so far?
I just started to go out and get outside. The weather's been starting to get really nice. I don't like the cold. Like, I'm not a cold person. Like, I need a little bit of warmth. So in the wintertime, when it's cold here, it's cold and I don't like it. And I don't like when it's dark for long periods of time. Like, I don't like when it's the sun rising at 7:30 in the morning and gets dark at 6 p.m. Like, I can't stand that. Like, I like the sun up at 5:30 and I like it dark at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Like, the more sunshine, the better. If I lived in like Iceland or something where it's sunny like most of the day, I would be happy because I could do a ton of things. I need the sun. I don't like dark.
I don't think we'd like to live in London.
Is it all? Well, you probably have a lot of rain and yeah, no. My girlfriend, she's always like, let's move to Seattle or like Washington. I'm like, there's no sun. I would never live. Like, it would be horrible. And they say the suicide rate in the Pacific Northwest of the United States is actually really high because of the lack of sunshine.
Have you ever lived abroad or you always been in California, Terry?
Yeah, between California and Arizona.
Okay.
So always sunshine. There's always sun.
Last question. Ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Last question. Okay, but before the last question, people, when they come to your page, to check your page, to check out your pictures, your videos, or your posts, what's something that you'd like to people to take with them always?
Just a happy personality. Like, there's no drama. Like, there's nothing. It's just, your person. It's just personal. Like, personal in the aspect of like, you can be you. Like, you can say what you want and not be shy. Don't be a jerk about it, but don't be shy.
Let's see. Okay. Last question is, what's your funniest memory of a date that you had?
Oh, probably with my girlfriend that I have now. Our first date was awesome. It was just, we sat down and we're at a wine bar and we just sat and talked for hours. And it was a really, really awesome connection.
Oh, wow. And how did your path cross, if you can share?
We met online. So it was,
really?
Nowadays, like, I'd love to say that's unorthodox, but it's more like the normal way, right? Like, you don't go out. You could meet somebody at the grocery store, but that would be weird, right? And at least nowadays, I think that would be weird. 20 years ago, that would be normal. You'd be like, oh, well, you met at the grocery store. That's normal. But people are really closed off now. And if you smile at someone at the grocery store, they're probably thinking you're weird. So online was how we met. And, she was in a place in her life where she was very, she did a lot of self-healing. And I've done a lot of healing in my life, and we're both just super grounded in a place where, like, we want something long and lasting and meaningful.
Wow.
A lot of people will exit relationships and not do the inner work, do the healing, or just not do the healing themselves, right? And they carry all this excess baggage of their past, right? And that hinders them in life, sadly.
Amazing. Okay, so then, Jets, let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words. There's some one word that comes to your mind thinking. Let's start with money.
Money, evil.
Family.
Important.
Fear.
Don't have any.
Life.
Life, live it.
Love.
Don't let it go.
Religion.
Oh man, religion. Believe in it.
Okay. Sex.
Do it often.
Politics.
Fake.
Friendship.
Important.
Desire.
Oh, could be bad.
Regret.
What was the last one?
Regret.
Don't have any.
Success.
Strive for it.
Wish.
Wish?
Yeah.
Do it often.
Happiness.
Try and find it.
One word for California.
Oh, amazing.
One word for USA.
Probably maybe the best.
Okay. Right. And the last one now, if you could define your page on OnlyFans in one word, what that would be?
Pleasure.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your girlfriend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask her, define Terry in one positive and one negative word only. What should say?
Oh, one word. Positively would probably be my heart, and negatively would probably be my inner dialogue.
Wow. If I would ask the same question to your daughter, would be the same answer?
Yeah, probably would be.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, most likely it would probably be rooted in like, positivity, making sure that she's, motivated. And then the flip side would probably be like, hey, he's strict, or he's no nonsense. Cause I've always been the iron fist. Like, I'm the most loving and caring person, but at the end of the day, if you fuck up, I'm going to tell you, and fix it. Right. It's because it's important to teach people that balance of love and respect, right? Like, you can't be disrespectful, or you can't, if you fail, it's cool. I love failure. I think failure is awesome. Failure is the result of you trying and it just didn't work. It doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. It didn't work, but you fucking tried, right? Like, I hate when people say I didn't try, or like I'm afraid. Dude, you can't. Like, it's funny, my uncle died skydiving. I've been skydiving twice and I absolutely love it. I think it's if you have you ever done skydiving?
No. However, I had a skydiving instructor here on the show, and he talked so many stories about his experience, and he said something that I didn't know, maybe something new now, maybe not from your uncle. He said that nowadays, like, your parachute always gonna open, even if you pass out. Like, if you're alone, there's something.
Yeah. It's got a device, it'll open, and there's always two. So like, even if one fails, another one will be there for you.
That's another one.
As long as you can get out of it, right? Like, you have to be able to get out of it. It is the most liberating and freeing thing you will ever do in your life, and you will never be afraid of anything.
Totally. It's to be honest, I never done before. I think one day I'll do it, but I'm not ready yet. I don't think I'm ready yet. But after this interview, I had this lovely man from New York, and I think he opened my mind a little bit more about it, And it's very interesting, the stories he told me. Like, he shared a lot of stories. I'm gonna send the link of his interview. It was very interesting.
Yeah. So let me ask you, would that be one of your biggest fears?
Good question. Actually, never stopped to think about that. Maybe not, because I just see it as an adventure. I don't think it's like a fear. Just see it like it's an adventure, that I'm a very adventurous person, but something that, when you know you're gonna do it one day, but you're just not ready yet. I think
you're gonna fall out of an airplane, right? That doesn't. You're gonna fall out of an airplane that you don't need to fall out of, right? And it's really like, when that door's open and you're standing there, it's far. Like, it's a long drop, and I think after you overcome that initial fear, I don't think anything else matters anymore in life. Like, you will never look at anything the same, because you've done to me, falling out of an airplane is the ultimate in overcoming a fear, right?
Wow.
And you'll look at fear completely different. I don't think you'll have a fear.
Okay. I don't want to think too much, because I feel like I'm gonna do it right now. Funny. Right, let's play now, Terry, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, Terry, you can ask me a question now.
What are you working on that excites you the most?
It's gonna sound cliche, Yeah, but it's this. This is something that I go to bed every night thinking about it. I wake up every single morning thinking about it. If I'm traveling, if I'm eating, if I'm have shower, if I'm, out, there's always something in the back of my mind, the back of my head about the Magic Box. It's something that brings me the best of me. The only time, I must say, the only time that I kind of forget a little bit about it when I'm in the cinema watching a movie, because I love movies. The only time when I connect so with the movie that I kind of forget a little bit. But as soon as the movie finish, the end it starts. Tuk, tuk,
Right
tuk,
back.
tuk, 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 tuk. Like message, who I'm gonna test, who is gonna reply, who I'm gonna organize,
Yeah.
next interview tomorrow. It's always about it, and it's beautiful. It's great. It brings the best of me. So yeah, it's something that it's. Not something that it's genuinely comes this feeling, you know what I mean? It's very genuinely, like my head, my soul, my heart is always here for sure. Like
Yeah.
as soon as I finish the interview, I'm already like thinking like, oh, I'm gonna organize something, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
always it's always something there. So yeah, it's cliche, but it's an honest answer for you. It's something that it's always here since I started doing the show. It's been part of my life since then, and I'm so grateful every day that this idea came along, because trust me, Terry, it brings the best of me when I'm here sitting doing the interview. Trust me, it's the best William anyone can have for sure. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. It's good to connect with people, and it's good to connect with complete strangers and talk
Yeah. Yeah.
and bring out the things that, because listen, at the end of the day, like, what you talk about with somebody may impact somebody in a positive way moving forward. Like,
Absolutely.
listen, I've been completely at the bottom in my life, where I've had nothing. I've had, $300 in my bank account, and I didn't know where the next 300 was coming from. Like,
Wow.
and, having to pick yourself up and dust yourself off. I've done it a couple of times in life. And it's important for people to know that, like, you can succeed. You just have to try. You have to pick yourself up and believe. Like, you have to believe that you can do it. If you don't believe, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, I can't make you believe in yourself. You have to do that on your own. And when you talked about like starting a new regiment or something, do you put it off on a date or do you do it immediately? Like, that's the self-belief part. Like, I can do anything I want. It's just a matter of, do I want to do it? Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like doing that. Like, I've done that before and I don't want to do it again. And there's other times I'm like, you know what, I should probably do that. Like, I should, like, I love getting up in the morning and doing the push-ups. Like, I think that's a super, super good regiment. And it's great for you. Like, I tell people all the time, you don't have to go to the gym. Like, do 50 push-ups in the morning and that will be your workout. Like, most human beings probably can't do 10.
Totally.
Right? Like, we live in this world where, like, people just don't take care of themselves. Like, and if they do, they realize it later in life. Like, they've gone their 20s and 30s and 40s, and then their late 40s, they go, oh, I need to do this. And their body's like, yeah, where were you 20 years ago? Like, that's the fountain of youth. I believe that's the fountain of youth. Good hormones, and eating right and exercising is probably the three things to staying youthful.
Amazing. What's the first one? I didn't understand the first one you said.
Hormones. Like, your hormones. Like, make sure for a male, like, your testosterone level is good. And if you're a woman, making sure you have that proper testosterone estrogen balance, because for women it can get really bad, right?
I understand.
And then, exercise. Like, I take my testosterone regularly. I take B12 regularly. Like, I do all the things that I'm supposed to, try and prevent. You're not going to ever prevent aging, right? But you can certainly stop it by doing some of the work.
Amazing. I was about to ask you to share a positive message, and you just did now, talking about I love that.
Live your life, man. Whatever you're afraid of, go do it.
Totally.
And actually, totally terrifying, and do it.
I was in Brazil last year for visiting my family, and a friend of mine, she knows I'm early bird, I love waking up mornings, and she gave me a book that said, you need to read this book. It's about that, about waking up early, doing things. And actually, I'm reading, it says a lot that I already do it naturally, that I didn't know. and he talks a lot about that, how to, it's more for people who kind of procrastinate in the morning, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
the opposite, the best energy for me is in the morning. I have the best energy of the day for me, it's in the morning. Blessed with that. Did you enjoy the interview, Terry?
Oh man, you're awesome, William. It's been a great day.
Thanks again. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for being so kind and sweet and accepting my invitation. Thanks as well for being so open. It was lovely to hear about your love with your mom. I think it's amazing to see, this connection we have with our loved ones, even though they're not here anymore in presence, but they always will be. And thanks again. Thanks for taking the time. Good luck on your page. I hope people, they follow more and more and more, and they,
Oh man, thank you. I appreciate it.
I hope they consume more your content, and we keep in touch. It was a pleasure having you. Okay.
You do as well. Thank you, and have a good rest of your day. And I appreciate you making the time on a Saturday morning. I know you have your life that you want to do, so go enjoy the rest of your day. I know it's probably late, but
yeah, it's almost 5 o'clock. I'm gonna have dinner in an hour or so. Regards to your girlfriend and to your daughter, and you keep in touch. It was a pleasure having you on the show. Okay, enjoy.
I appreciate you. Have a good day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.